Do you think you know everything about billionaire Jeffrey Epstein and his mysterious death? Get ready to be shocked. In this video, we will uncover the full story of one of the most shocking cases in history. From his luxurious life connections with powerful figures to the suspicious death behind bars. How do you think Epstein really died? If you have an answer, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to enjoy this video and hit subscribe so you won't miss any shocking stories from us. Over the past year, one of the most shocking cases in the West has been the case of Jeffrey Epstein. His sudden death in prison marked the end of a dark chapter, but the victims he ensnared continue to leave many questions unanswered. The complex web behind this case has sparked controversy, including the involvement of famous figures in business and politics worldwide, including former U.S. presidents and members of the British royal family. In August 2019, Epstein's mysterious death in prison brought the case to a climax, shaking both the political and business circles in America. Before his heinous crimes were exposed, Epstein was a powerful figure admired by many, much like the character Gatsby in the novel. So what do you think about Epstein's mysterious death? Do you believe he took his own life, or is there a conspiracy behind it? Leave your thoughts in the comments below this video. If you find this story interesting, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss any exciting videos coming up. Born into an ordinary family, Jeffrey Epstein built a colossal empire of wealth on his own. His assets spanned the globe, from a luxurious $20 million mansion in Palm Beach, USA, to an expensive townhouse in downtown New York, a lavish apartment in Paris, a private island in the Caribbean, and a vast ranch in New Mexico. He even owned a private airport in Palm Beach, where luxury jets, including a Boeing 727, were parked. However, in stark contrast to his flashy exterior, Epstein was an extremely private and mysterious figure with very little public information about his personal life and career. To this day, the origins of his vast fortune and the secrets behind his success remain a major mystery, fueling the public's curiosity. Epstein was born in New York, USA in 1953 into a Jewish family. Despite having a good academic record in high school, he surprisingly failed 2 grades. He was later accepted into the prestigious Cooper Union, but after 2 years, he decided to drop out. Notably, the details about Epstein's high school graduation and his subsequent employment as a teacher at the Dalton School still remain unexplained. In 1976, he began his career at one of the leading investment banks, Bear Stearns, and within just 4 years, he quickly rose to become a partner. However, Epstein's career at Bear Stearns ended abruptly when his fraudulent activities and unprofessional behavior were exposed. Specifically, he was found to have falsified academic credentials and engaged in behavior that was not aligned with the standards expected of a bank employee. In 1982, Epstein founded his own financial management firm, J. Epstein & Co., which catered to ultra-wealthy clients with personal assets reaching billions of dollars. However, during this same period, he became involved in a scheme that defrauded hundreds of thousands of investors, raising an enormous sum of $460 million. While the other masterminds behind the scheme were arrested, Epstein inexplicably escaped legal consequences. In 1986, Epstein founded an investment firm and quickly established close relationships with many financial moguls. His social circle expanded to include influential figures in politics, business, and fashion, such as Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, and even Leslie Wexner, the owner of Victoria's Secret. Trump even publicly expressed admiration for Epstein, calling him a great and fun guy. Notably, the relationship between Epstein and Leslie Wexner stands out as Wexner transferred a large amount of assets for Epstein to manage, leading to suspicions about the true motives behind this decision. Many believe that Epstein may have exploited Wexner's trust to gain control over his wealth. There are even rumors suggesting that there may have been a special romantic relationship between Epstein and Wexner. Epstein's creation of an extensive and complex network of connections with powerful figures has led many to question his true intentions. When Epstein's crimes were exposed, the public began to suspect that these influential figures might have known about or even been involved in his illegal activities. The first person to try to break Epstein's perfect image was journalist Vicky Ward in 2003 while she was preparing an article about him for Vanity Fair. Vicky received a mysterious phone call from one of Epstein's victims who revealed horrifying truths about the billionaire. Initially, Vicky's article was focused on depicting Epstein's lavish and successful life. However, that phone call completely changed her perspective. According to the victim's account, Epstein often asked his personal assistant, Sarah Ken, to find young girls to fulfill his perverse desires. With his polished appearance and vast wealth, Epstein easily lured young women to his home with promises of high-paying jobs. However, behind the glamorous exterior, he was a predator. Most of the victims came from disadvantaged families or had troubled relationships with their families, making them vulnerable and easily influenced. The promises of a better life, a way out of poverty, made them easy targets for manipulation and dangerous situations. Epstein exploited these girls' vulnerabilities using money to bribe and lure them in. Many of the girls felt so scared and isolated that they didn't dare to share their experiences with anyone. They feared judgment from others or worse, being blamed for what had happened to them. Something even more horrifying was that Epstein actively encouraged these girls to recruit their friends, promising them rewards if they succeeded. The girls would lure their peers by saying that after school they could earn extra money by giving massages to a wealthy man $200 for just 45 minutes. This offer was too tempting for many to resist. Unaware of what awaited them, they walked into Epstein's mansion, only to find themselves trapped in a sophisticated web of abuse. Epstein built a pyramid-like system with himself at the top, supported by his personal assistant Sarah Kellen model Nadia Markinkova and ex-girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell came from a Jewish family and was the daughter of British media mogul Robert Maxwell. She had lived a life of luxury and privilege before her father mysteriously died on a yacht in 1991. After his death, the Maxwell family's financial empire began to crumble. Despite the crisis, Ghislaine stood out with her intelligence, captivating beauty, and extensive connections among the elite, which allowed her to easily integrate into American high society. After meeting Jeffrey Epstein, her life took a different turn. Ghislaine Maxwell became a close associate of Epstein's and played a significant role in facilitating his activities. Together with Epstein, she made numerous trips to various countries, including South America and Eastern Europe, to find and entice young girls whom she then trained to serve Epstein's desires. From a respected socialite, Ghislaine gradually transformed into a procurer, specializing in recruiting and providing young girls for Epstein. In 1997, Epstein continued to employ similar tactics, this time exploiting his connection with Leslie Wexner, impersonating a talent scout for Victoria's Secret to approach young models. These young women, both models and girls scouted by Epstein and his associates, became targets of a sophisticated abuse network. Epstein didn't just indulge in his depraved pleasures alone. He also shared his prizes with other powerful men. Epstein's luxurious mansion became the venue for wild parties where young girls were treated as commodities to be exchanged within this system. The girls became the lowest victims, exploited and discarded mercilessly. Vicky was utterly shocked by the horrific revelations about Epstein. She realized she held a story of immense weight and influence, but one that also came with unforeseen risks. As she began her article, Vicky received anonymous, threatening calls. They claimed to know everything about her, from her doctor to the hospital where she gave birth. If her article wasn't written to their liking, those behind the threats would make her and her family pay a heavy price. The pressure intensified even further when her editor demanded she remove crucial details about the victims and turn the article into a praise piece for Epstein. Vicky realized she was up against an incredibly powerful force, one willing to do anything to protect the reputations of Epstein and his accomplices. These individuals were ready to do whatever it took to safeguard their system and continue serving their VIP clients in secret. Epstein's Caribbean island villa, isolated amidst the sea, became a dark paradise for the ultra-rich and powerful. The island was under strict security, with anyone, even divers, being driven away if they dared to trespass. Epstein owned a private Boeing 727, nicknamed the Lolita Express. The plane's luxurious interior was redesigned with multiple bedrooms and private living areas, transforming it into a flying love nest. When VIP guests arrived on the island, they could party at the main villa, or for those desiring privacy, undisturbed by others, they could use the private cabins. All rooms were fully equipped with high-end amenities comparable to a five-star hotel. Furthermore, a 24/7 surveillance camera system covered the entire island. Epstein recorded everyone who visited and what they did with a clear purpose. Once you came here and enjoyed these services, it meant you were on the same boat. Don't even think about leaving it. In reality, one of the reasons Epstein evaded justice was the long list of powerful figures who reportedly visited his private island. Unofficial reports suggest prominent names such as former U.S. President Bill Clinton, the UK's Prince Andrew actor Kevin Spacey, and lawyer Alan Dershowitz were all on Epstein's private plane. In September 2002, Bill Clinton flew with Jeffrey Epstein on the Lolita Express from New York to Africa. When the plane stopped for refueling at a small airport in Portugal, a photograph was taken capturing the moment Epstein's personal masseuse was massaging Bill Clinton. This image quickly caused a public stir. Although David later asserted that she was simply doing her job and had no relationship beyond professional boundaries with Bill Clinton, her presence on Epstein's private plane, known for its illicit activities, ignited public outrage. According to flight manifests from 2001 to 2003, Bill Clinton traveled on the Lolita Express at least 26 times. During the search of Epstein's home after his arrest, a bizarre discovery caused a stir. An oil painting depicting a former U.S. president in women's clothing. At first glance, the image seemed like a peculiar joke, but its presence in Epstein's own home raised many questions, especially since the blue dress worn by the figure in the painting matched a dress Hillary Clinton once wore to an event. The appearance of such a personal painting in Epstein's house further fueled suspicions about the complex relationship between these two powerful men. In October 2019, the New York Times published an article detailing the relationship between billionaire Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. The report revealed that Bill Gates had visited Epstein's luxurious Manhattan mansion at least 3 times, including one late-night visit. Following these revelations, Bill Gates denied having a close relationship with Epstein and asserted there were no business dealings between the two. However, his late-night visits to Epstein's mansion led the public to raise many questions. Were these secret meetings merely social interactions, or did they hide other purposes? Virginia Roberts was also a victim of the Lolita Island industry. She was first assaulted by Epstein in 1999 while working as a waitress at a hotel in Florida. Virginia accidentally met Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman dressed elegantly and sophisticatedly. From their first encounter, Ghislaine seemed very impressed with Virginia's beauty and offered to introduce her to a friend who was looking for a personal masseuse. She promised to help Virginia get proper training to become a professional masseuse with high earnings. Unsuspecting Virginia agreed only to later discover that the friend Ghislaine mentioned was Jeffrey Epstein, who exploited the young girl for his dark purposes. When Virginia was brought to Epstein's mansion, he was lying naked on a massage table. At first, Virginia thought this was just a normal service and worked without suspicion. However, Epstein then began to act inappropriately with her. What's more, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's girlfriend at the time, even joined the two. This was just the beginning of the suffering Virginia was about to endure. After his arrest on July 6, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was held in a federal prison. Just 2 weeks later, on July 23rd, he made his first attempt to end his life and was rushed to the emergency room. Following this incident, Epstein was moved to a segregated cell and placed under close surveillance to prevent further attempts. However, after only 6 days, security measures were loosened, and on August 10th, Epstein was found dead in his cell, having fashioned a noose from a bedsheet. Epstein's sudden death sparked widespread suspicion and controversy. One could say that Epstein's demise was even more shocking than his arrest. Jeffrey Epstein's death immediately became the focal point of questions and debates. Many questioned whether it was truly a suicide or a staged assassination. These suspicions became even more convincing as crucial evidence repeatedly went missing. The video recording of Epstein's first suicide attempt was accidentally deleted, and the surveillance system at the prison where he took his last breath also mysteriously malfunctioned. This coincidence led many to draw parallels with typical movie plot lines, where critical evidence always disappears at pivotal moments. According to reliable sources, Jeffrey Epstein had previously revealed to those around him that someone wanted him to disappear forever. This further fueled suspicions about the mysterious cause of the billionaire's death. A report by BNL News stated that the 2 prison guards assigned to monitor Epstein on the night of the incident were asked to leave their posts before 3 a.m. to perform hallway repairs. This coincidence only deepened suspicions for many. The death of Jeffrey Epstein remains one of the most mysterious cases that the public has yet to unravel. Regardless of how things unfold, the stories behind this case will continue to haunt and spark debates for many years to come. What do you think about the details that have yet to be revealed? Share your thoughts with us in the comments, and remember to hit subscribe to follow more thrilling and unexpected cases. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.